Part one of how my abusive stepfather, Jeff Kuhn, thinks he's in a Black Mirror episode or the director of The Truman Show. He has his house wired up like Fort Knox, but only on the inside. It's straight up like living an Orwellian nightmare. The whole house, whole interior is monitored with multiple cameras covering every angle. There are low brand cameras, except for the bathroom and bedrooms. I think I don't know of them being in there, but I hope not. But those would be the only places in that house where you're not being fully spied on by Jeff Kuhn. And it's not just the video, it's full audio too. And so they can tap into it live. So he has, live monitoring, but they also pay for the largest cloud storage plan. So it records everything and then saves all of the videos to the cloud so he can go back and watch it anytime. So he's got the entire interior of his house rigged up like a KGB, Stasi, NSA spy operation, but could not care less about what's going on outside the house, like external threats, any potential intruders, like deterring any of that aspect of security. That's not the concern. He's got no outdoor surveillance whatsoever. So this is strictly interior to spy on and monitor and maintain excessive control and oversight and just surveil the day-to-day intimate aspects of everyone in the house's daily life, activities, behaviors, whatever. Like, that's the focus. Because this guy has a desperate desire for complete dominance and control over everyone, especially his own family and children and his wife, my mother, and me. But see, I'm the problem because I don't play into it. It's also like the classic narcissistic abuser's false self projecting to the outside world, hell-bent on concealing the manipulative or abusive behaviors that are going on behind closed doors, keeping up that facade of normalcy to the outside world. Obviously, that's like a super disturbing and oppressive environment for anyone to live in. Living in a house where every single move you make, every word you speak is monitored, recorded, and under intense scrutiny is messed up. It would have a profound detrimental impact on anybody's emotional, psychological well-being. You're essentially being deprived of any personal autonomy, any sense of privacy, freedom to like grow and explore and just be where you can do all those things and just live without being watched like lab rats. It's just a total invasion of privacy and gross violation of basic human rights. And not only to just his own kids and his wife, my mom, but to other kids or people. Any of his kids' friends that come over to hang out or sleep over or whatever get sucked into this dystopian nightmare. Something comical about it though is there's a tiny little area in the dining room that somehow slipped through the cracks and is like just cut off a little bit from the camera views. So I learned this in 2021 when Haley and I were cool. She was telling me that she had found the tiny little area that wasn't in view of the camera. And so she would position herself in the chair, like right in that spot, to do homework and just sit there so that she could vape without Jeff's watchful gaze. And she was 21 at this point, okay? She was a adult, off in college, doing her own thing. It's not like she was like, a minor in the house or in high school, middle school, or anything like that. So, but Jeff has had this system rigged up for years and years. So he's had all this set up while his kids were, the youngest one was, kindergarten? And then there's 3 more all the way up to high school. So And the youngest one is still, I'm pretty sure, in like middle school or something. So, and I found a photo that has one of the cameras that you can see in the background. It's just a photo of Bella and Sasha. This is from April 2021 when my mom and Jeff were on spring break in Marco Island, Florida, which they do every year. And traditionally, I would watch Bella over spring break. But my mom told me like Haley was coming back from Michigan State to watch Bella and Sasha. That's her dog. She passed away. Very sad. Um, so I was like, cool, Haley will let me hang out at the house. But as you can see in these texts with her, her dad was on top of that. Big brother caught me. So it was probably all of 5 minutes I had come to the house to hang out with Bella. And it was me, Haley, and then our dogs. We were just sitting in the kitchen, like living room area, just talking, chatting, and playing with the dogs. And within probably like 5 minutes, like I said, Jeff's blowing up her phone like a maniac. So he had seen me, and then, she ignored it a couple times. He kept blowing it up. So he was like watching her ignore it on the video too, which is funny. So these are the texts. I can see all of it. Okay. And then there's another one. So like Jeff cracked the whip and said no dice and make sure you turn the cameras on. But you can see here, you guys, like she's she understands that it's messed up. Like she is apologetic. She feels embarrassed and weird about it. She knows it's wrong, but I don't blame the kids in any way, shape, or form. I get it. Like I have nothing against them at all. And this is another one during that time period, this April period where I'm pointing. Okay, I made a reference to the Fort Knox thing, and she was like, "LML, so true," and laughed. But and like these texts were from that same time period, which is just like it's really sad that Jeff has created this situation. Like i- it sucks. And it's not just Haley, like his other kids have expressed the same thing to me. Like they've apologized for their dad's behavior and been like, "Hey, just so you know, I have nothing against you. You've always been great to me. Like we have no problems whatsoever, and I'm sorry about the way my dad treats you and is to you. I know he's, out of control and like, I know he can be extreme and ridiculous." And I'm like, "You're good. Like I'm not." And I feel for them and it sucks, but any negative repercussions or unwanted, embarrassment from this is on Jeff Kuhn and his choices and actions solely.